The first topic is OnePlus lying about the specs in the OnePlus 12R, and even the OnePlus Buds 3. So if you guys remember our initial video on the OnePlus episode, um, we were like really excited for the products. In fact, we were like really kind of watching for them and things. And but then like few days after that video came out, lots of people were popping up and saying that when they ran the AnTuTu scores on their OnePlus 12R, they are getting claims that the storage version of the UFS storage is 3.22 or something, and it was supposed to be 4. So initially people 3.1.
Yeah.
So people were like initially saying it's a problem with the app where you're checking your benchmarking scores, so it's not updated properly. In fact, not just people, OnePlus's own support also came up with that same excuse, saying that it's just an issue with the app that does the benchmarking. But it turns out someone either in the OnePlus website, or the person who is responsible for putting out the advertisements or whatever, I don't know, maybe the higher up someone might have instructed them saying that the phone had UFS 4.0 storage, but it turns out it has.
I think apparently the OnePlus 12R is apparently a rebranded version of the OnePlus Ace 2 Pro or something, which launched in China, and that phone had UFS 4.0 storage. So maybe the executives at OnePlus got confused with that phone and this phone and mislabeled the 256GB variant as USB 4.0 is what some people are telling that this could be the cause of the confusion. But yeah, obviously it was wrong from OnePlus's side. They got a lot of bashing from all the people on tech Twitter, and then finally the COO of OnePlus, he came out and he issued a statement that first of all the plus 12 256GB and 128GB variant, both of them come with UFS 3.1 storage, which has slower read write speeds compared to the UFS 4.0 storage. And later, after a couple of days, he said that whoever has brought the 256GB variant and they don't want to own it because of this issue, they can return it before 16th of March. So if you have pre-ordered the phone and you feel that I bought the higher variant just because of the UFS 4.0 storage, I don't want it, OnePlus will offer you a full refund, and the date is 16th of March. So remember that if you have bought the OnePlus 12R 256GB variant. Although I don't think most people will have an issue, because anyway at 46,999 you're getting double the RAM and double the storage compared to the base variant, and I don't think most people even will notice the difference between UFS 3.1 and UFS 4.0. But that doesn't cut off the slack from OnePlus that they have made this mistake and it created controversy. But it's also like kind of you can say that OnePlus immediately responded and kind of tried to fix the issue. The larger question here is, can you trust OnePlus? Because a Twitter user called Tech World Ultimate, he created a whole list of OnePlus marketing deceptions, lies, cheating customers since the beginning of the brand. So I'll quickly like read it out, and then maybe you can hear Gautam's thoughts about this, because he has like a few relatives and like people who use the OnePlus phones in his family as well. So the first one was removing NFC on the OnePlus 2, calling 1.6x zoom on the OnePlus 5 as 2x zoom, then removing it on the OnePlus 5T. The telephoto on OnePlus 7 Pro was which is 2.2x 13 megapixel, was advertised as 3x 8 megapixel. OnePlus 8 Pro had a useless color filter. The OnePlus 9 Pro benchmark cheating, which had become a huge thing. App throttling, no wireless charging on the Indian variant of the OnePlus 9. 5G bands with updates. So 5G bands with updates was that the phone came with only 2 bands of 5G, and when people asked OnePlus whether like at that time 5G hadn't rolled out in India, so people are asking Plus, suppose these bands are not supported, when Indian 5G comes out, what will you do? They said that we can provide 5G bands with a software update, which wasn't the case. So that was the 5G bands with updates debacle. Then Nord 2 explosions with no clarifications. Support promising 4 years of updates for 11R. UFS 4.0 to UFS 3.1 on the Indian/global variant of the 12R, which was the topic of discussion right now. No eSIM on the Indian OnePlus 12. Awful quality control issues for the OnePlus Open. Optimization of chipsets on products like the Nord 3 and OnePlus Pad. Performance throttling in general. OnePlus has been known to do that. Then Oxygen OS completely lying that they'll continue using a slightly modified stock skin, like after the initial backlash when OnePlus said that they're merging Oxygen OS and Color OS in the back end. So yeah, and then there's one more point which someone raised about the OnePlus Buds 3, which they recently launched. Apparently, that they announced that it comes with LHDC support, which is like a higher codec standard for like audiophiles will know about it. So they said that it'll come with that, but then apparently a user who bought it said that it does not come with LHDC support. OnePlus hasn't responded to this yet, but yeah, this just adds to that list of uh, huge list of all like marketing deceptions or lies or cheating customers since their inception. So having said all of this, Gautam, what do you feel? Can we trust OnePlus having seen this kind of a track record of some controversy coming up with almost every smartphone series which they launched? Like OnePlus 9 had issues, OnePlus 10 had issues, OnePlus 11 luckily didn't have stuff, but then there was the controversy about updates about 11R. Now 12R is also having issue. Every every year OnePlus launches new phones, they have some controversy. So can like normal consumers trust OnePlus, especially considering that youth are buying OnePlus phones and they're seeing a huge growth in sales figures and stuff in India?
Yeah, so my take on it is, yeah, I feel like OnePlus has been involving itself in some shady practices for a while now. And um, I mean, as we saw the timeline also from the OnePlus 2, I don't know where it's going wrong, whether it's just the Chinese markets having a uh, different specification and that just being copied over, but sometimes they're cutting the corners around here. I remember we have spoken about a lot of things like I remember talking about the adding bands via software update concept when the OnePlus 9 was out, which was I think our first episode in fact. And uh, all the other things too, like even this one, like I just did not feel nice when I just found out that the like when the benchmarking apps were saying, because never has it occurred to a Samsung phone or anything where they say that uh, don't worry guys, it's just an issue with the benchmarking app. It clearly isn't. And also um, OnePlus has, I don't know, they have kind of lost my trust. I mean, they just don't have that. Even Linus Tech Tips made a video of how many quality control issues, like when it just purely comes to software, OnePlus phones have. And now I can't speak for the OnePlus Open because I haven't used that. I mean, Atharv has used it and checked it out, but I personally haven't seen that, so I can't speak for it. But what I have seen at thousands of OnePlus users, okay, thousands is maybe an exaggeration, but I've definitely seen a fair amount of OnePlus users have the green line issue, which still hasn't been properly publicly handled. I wouldn't say it hasn't been addressed because some users have got uh, fair treatment for that issue, but some users still haven't been receiving any compensation for that issue that we know is the most common in OnePlus phones and then followed by Samsung phones. And it occurs on some older iPhones too, but OnePlus, as we know, has been the major culprit in this. And even if you see, like, the most common manufacturer to have the green line issue was OnePlus, and they just didn't fix any of that. And that's why the props have to go to Xiaomi when they had a motherboard issue with their Redmi phones. They did
Okay.
acknowledge it. Now we don't know how far that acknowledgement took them, but OnePlus just refused to acknowledge this issue even with their
I
cheaper
think it
products.
did.
With the
It did
OnePlus
affect
9,
them
they did acknowledge
considering
it,
that.
but with their cheaper products, they still force the users to pay for the display, which could have not been their fault also. It could have been a fault straight out of OnePlus. So that, and LHDC stands for, I think, low latency high definition codec. So and to have like, so you, if you want to really enjoy the like high definition wireless audio with low latency, which is really useful for gaming, and even just it's generally better, like a better experience when the latency is lesser, then LHDC is, it's really good to have. But turns out OnePlus, again, I don't know if they are lying or if, because they, in my opinion, I really want to think they are not lying, because such a big brand does not get anything out of lying like this. I genuinely hope it's a mistake on some marketing team's part or something like that, but for that we'd have to probably go through the launch events and see the claims they said in their launch events, because if they lied in their launch event, then it's clearly a lie. It's not like a marketing thing, because someone would have pointed it out at least on the launch in the launch event. That's my take on it. But would I tell to completely banish OnePlus products, just not buy OnePlus products? No. I still think the OnePlus 12R is a great phone, despite having a bit slower storage, because it's definitely value for money. And even though I pointed out some shortcomings of the OnePlus 10R, like the camera issue that my cousin who has the phone was facing, I still think it's a great phone, and it's very close to a flagship phone. So for its price, I would still keep it in my recommended list. But this clearly doesn't reinforce any trust in OnePlus as a brand. So that's all I could